You tell people that you're a professional golfer and they think you've got the easiest life in the world, and it couldn't be further from the truth.
It is a really grueling life that most people think is glamorous.
They don't know how hard it is to hit a golf shot when you've just hit numerous golf shots bad and you don't have a dime in the bank.
A great year as a mini tour player is actually to break even, all expenses considered.
You got all those expenses adding up, you don't make the cut, you have a lot of cash.
You better finish at least 10th every week if you want to live.
You're living literally moment to moment, you know. You got to play well every time you tee it up.
You start out at the beginning of the season knowing that the shining star at the end of it is Q School.
This is like pre-season basically, and that 2-month stretch of what tour school is, that's all you're playing for.
You could win every event out here, and if you get knocked out in the first round of Q School, you're back here next year.
I think I just woke up one day and said, it's time to do something. I'm done doing what everybody else wants me to do. Now I want to pursue my own dreams, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to that point.
A year ago, he was working as a systems analyst for Merrill Lynch. Now, David Jones is making a run for the PGA Tour at age 35.
5 years from January, I want to be playing on the PGA Tour. And I don't think that's unrealistic. I really don't. It all boils down to your own determination and what you're willing to overcome and what you're willing to sacrifice in order to not be able to wake up 50 years from now and say, you know, I had an opportunity to do something that would really make me happy, but I didn't do it because I was afraid.
While Jones toils toward his dream in anonymity, another golfer faces cruel expectations.
If my last name was Smith, nobody would give a damn. But it's not, so a lot of people care and they stare at the name and stare at the scores. Ever since I turned pro, I've played very poorly. So I've actually come to a point right now where I'm fed up with a lot of things. I got to assess in my own head whether or not I'm willing to spend 7, 8, 10, 12 years to try to get to the goal of the PGA Tour. And I'm not convinced that I'm willing to do that with my life.
I started traveling with him after we were married, and I knew that my life was going to be very much linked to his.
If a guy's caddying for you, you can throw the clubs at him and yell at him and say, you know, it's your fault. But with your wife, you can't do that because it won't end on the golf course. It'll, you know, that night, it'll cost you something.
We live at Corky's parents' house. We live in their attic. We can't buy a home or anything like that. We haven't been able to save a whole lot.
Helen's commitment includes the oceans of time spent by Corky practicing.
That's when it gets a little bit boring for me, but that's his most crucial time of work. I just try to think for every hour I'm sitting around, it could be an hour of great golf the next day, or the closer we'll get to our goals.
Corky's 38th place finish in Wilmington earns him $790, $40 more than his entry fee. 20 minutes after signing his scorecard, he and Helen are back on the road.
8-hour drive to Knoxville, Tennessee. Should get in about 11 o'clock. See off at 8 tomorrow morning.
I have put 22,000 miles on my car this year so far.
Last year I put on about 40,000, and it's just every year it's the same thing.
Most people think about changing their oil once every 3 months. I have to change mine about once every week and a half.
Few have logged as many mini tour miles as 43-year-old Javier Sanchez, who once qualified for the Nike Tour just as his first child was born.
When he was born, he had 2 holes in his heart. It was devastating. He has Down syndrome.
We gave up our apartment and moved in with my parents so he could play.
I was going to quit and get a job, and just, provide for my family.
He wanted to. Especially after Nicholas was born and had all the problems that he had. So I said, no, I didn't want to be responsible for him giving up his dream.
I learned how to work hard, coming from Mexico. I'm going to give it 100% like I have and see what happens.
The solidity in a 9-to-5 job is nice, but the downside of that is not having the opportunity to, make it big tomorrow.
You just gotta keep plugging away and, find a way to do it. Live the dream.
We all live the dream. You gotta keep going.